We here at Hipe TV would like to welcome the very talented, very tall, very cute Eugene Mathews with one T.
Cute. I'll take it. I'm cute now. Okay.
Eugene is a stand-up comedian, a presenter, a fundraiser. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
I'm a hairdresser as well. I'm a former cab driver. I'm just broke. That's what I am. I'm broke. Lots of the time.
So tell us about Eugene Mathews. Where does Eugene Mathews come from?
Eugene Mathews is from a little suburb in Cape Town called Kensington.
Okay.
It's a small little place where everybody knows everybody's business. They don't necessarily know one another, but they know each other's business. And there's a little section called Factory Turn where all the crime happens, but when the media gets a hold of that story, then it's Kensington, shooting in Kensington. Wait a minute, we're not a part of that crime. Whoa, dude, seriously.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm from Kensington, born and bred, stayed there my entire life, 31 years.
31 years.
I don't look at
Okay, so tell us about the stand-up comedian side of things. When did you find you're funny, if I can say it like that?
Well, in high school, being funny was part of the defense mechanism. As you can tell, I'm openly gay. And
What? You're openly gay?
you can't tell? Really?
Joking. In high school?
Yeah, in high school, I was bullied a lot, and I found that a way out of bullying, as opposed to fighting, just make them laugh.
Okay.
Right. And then that's where I discovered sarcasm and funny, and I went through a couple of careers. And somewhere along the line I was a cab driver, and I discovered that if I make my clients laugh, they would tip me more. So I did that a lot. The moment they got into the cab till the moment they got out, it was just a laugh festival.
Yes,
and I'd just be telling them stories about what happened today.
Yes.
And then one day somebody told me, why don't you try stand-up comedy? You're really talented, you are funny, you have the timing and all that stuff. I'm like, no, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the line I told a friend of mine who said, why don't you actually try it? Then I went to a couple of comedy shows in Cape Town, and I saw a comic on stage one day, and I thought to myself, I can do this. I'm sure I can do this. 2 years later, I got on stage and I tried doing stand-up comedy for the first time, and I've never felt that alive.
Wow.
I was
So
at my most alive.
comedy made him feel alive. 2 years is what it took him to get on stage. How was your first experience?
Doing stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
Ooh, there's actually a video on YouTube which embarrasses me so badly.
You can visit his YouTube channel to see this video.
You don't have to, but please do, and click on like. The first time I got on stage, I made some notes on my hand, and then a friend of mine rocked up, but he couldn't parallel park his car. So I went downstairs to parallel park his car, and while doing that, all my notes got smudged with my hand. And I only realized this maybe a minute before I was due on stage.
Yes.
And then I just had to wing it and just talk about the ideas that I had in my head, and that went on for a while. I actually saw recently that people were flashing me and doing things to get me off the stage, but I was just talking.
So when people flash you, what do they do? What is a flash? Explain the flash.
Okay, if you get flashed while doing your stand-up comedy set, that means, okay, start wrapping up now.
Okay.
Maybe each show is different, but it normally means you have 5 minutes to just bring your story down.
Okay.
Many of us ignore that flash because you're having such a great time on stage, but yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Now let's speak about Eugene Mathews, the presenter. How does that come into play?
Well, during my cab driving days, I went to the launch of Taxi Radio. It's an online radio station based in Cape Town, South Africa. Because this is going to go international, so let's say Cape Town, South Africa. I was at this launch, and then I met Solly Philander, and I'm not one of those people that gets starstruck. I don't, because you're just a person doing your job.
Yes.
Whether you're on TV or radio, whatever. But this guy's been in my world for so long, and when I met him in person, I'm like, Solly Philander. And then he said, I know you.
Yes.
Don't I know you? And I'm like, no, you don't know me. My voice actually did that. You don't know me. And then a few days later, I was invited to be a guest on one of the shows on the radio station, and then I just kept going back. And maybe a few weeks later, Solly asked me if I'd like to be the news anchor for the television show spin-off.
Wow.
And I'm like, I have no TV experience whatsoever. And he's like, just
pitch up?
Do it or not. So I did it, and it was terrible in the beginning. I was so bad because reading aloud is not one of my strengths.
Okay.
Back in the day, I had a bit of a stutter. I still have it, but
Yes.
now to read and to stutter on live TV, it was terrible. And I was still, can I say, in the closet with my mother.
Okay.
And then maybe by the third episode, so I had a story where I spoke about the owner of Bronx nightclub.
Yes.
Or the old Bronx.
Bronx is what used to be known as the gay club of Cape Town.
It was never a straight club, so it was like that.
Oh, then I made a mistake then. I made it.
So the owner was murdered, and I thought I'm going to bring this across as my news story for the morning.
Yes.
Because our show was at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
7 till 8 or something like that, and my segment was the news. And I brought this news item across, and my best job yet. And then Solly said, "Oh, Eugene, you've been to Bronx a few times. How long have you been out of the closet for?" And I know in my mind my mother's watching this.
Yes.
And I had this
moment,
and then I'm like, "No, I've been out of the closet." So everybody who saw that moment of, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And ever since then, okay, I got home the evening and I switched on the TV and I saw the TV was still on Cape Town TV. So my mother watched it. She watched it.
What was your mother's reaction?
There has been no reaction.
Till today?
Until this day, there's been no reaction.
Then they must have known.
Denial was real.
Denial.
I think it's still very real.
Yes.
No, please don't tell her that. Don't say that. But it is real, and I mean, it's not like I can hide it. I mean, look at me.
All right. Now, I mentioned in the very beginning of this interview the fundraising side of things. Explain the fundraising.
I'm aligned with a couple of organizations that I really love and really what we're doing. My Child is Cancer Trust, Angels of Hope, which is also another organization that looks after cancer sufferers, cancer survivors and their family, provides them with groceries and stuff like that. And there's a thing called Kensington's Friends Charity Organization where we go to the old age home in our area and we provide meals and just spend time with people at the old age home. So I found a way to connect the comedy, which I love, with the organizations that I love.
Okay.
And I produce a comedy show for these people to raise funds for the various projects. And then somewhere along the line, I was just walking in the road, and when I walk, I'm constantly running through my material in my mind. So when I'm walking down the road, people are seeing me doing this.
He's just rehearsing. If you see him, he's just going through his material.
Yeah, I'm not talking to any of my other personalities at that time. I do, but not at that time. And then one day, the word punchlines just hit me. And I thought, punchlines, that's a great name.
Did you do that on purpose? That punchline just hit you because punchline?
I'm going to ignore that.
Punchline
anyway, then punchlines hit me. Oh, I see what you did.
You see what I did there?
Delayed reaction. Now, punchlines, it just felt like the right name for my little fundraising comedy brand. And every show that we've put together so far has been well supported. I have a couple more gigs coming up. I book up and coming stand-up comedians who are on the cusp of being huge.
Yes.
And it just works. It's one thing that I really love, and one thing that I really love coming together, and here we go. And we get to take comedy to different stages, because it's a mobile comedy show. So basically find the venue, find the organization that needs funds raised for them, and then we put the show together.
Sounds like a great concept, and it's been working for you so far. Right?
Yeah, so far so good. We had netball functions and I'll just have a show to raise funds for any organization or person who I believe in.
Now, okay, I'm looking at the youth now. They're going to look at you, they're going to watch this video, and they want to get into presenting comedy, or they want to start fundraising, put events together. What kind of advice can you give a young person out there?
Just do it. I speak to many, I do lots of talks and stuff like that, and I try to motivate the youth, up and coming youth. And many people have told me, I want to get into drag, but I'm so scared. Just do it. Just do it. Whether it fails or not, if you do it the first time and it fails, you learn the lessons from that, and then you try again, and you try again until you get it right.
Try and try again until you get it right. That's awesome. Eugene Mathews, thank you very much for joining
Wait,
us.
wait,
You know,
wait, before
people can
we end
connect
this,
with you.
before we end this
See this,
interview,
now this is
can we
what
just
happens.
talk about this beard? What is up with this beard, Sunnil Osman? Because I've seen you without the beard and then I see you again and there's a big beard. What is going on here?
I decided to start selling chicken tikka on Sundays.
How's that?
I haven't got the bum codes yet, but
So, what does the beard have to do with
No,
the chicken
honestly,
tikka? Is that an ingredient
no.
in tikka chicken?
No, I get approached often. People ask me if I'm Pakistani, so I decided to grow this beard so to make it harder for them to believe I'm not Pakistani. But the beard is actually about research, to be honest with you. Go to my website, sunnilosman.com. I've written a little blog about it. I grew a beard, and just the way people approach me is different. They don't call me by my nickname. They don't. It's just like it's another level of respect.
Because you look older now, isn't
I
that?
think that's it.
I'm never growing a beard.
A director said I must grow the beard, and that's for a film that I've been shooting.
So is this beard ever going to come off?
The beard will
Are
come
you
off.
going to take that 10 years of
I will
face
take the
and-
beard off if you pay me to do it.
I can buy you blades.
I mean, blades.
You can do that. Unless you have the money for that.
Give me the money, I'll think about trading off you.
No, blades are expensive. Let's do a fundraiser for your beard.
Sunnil Osman fundraiser, let's do it. I'll tell you what, if you do it, I'll donate the money to an organization.
I like it. I like it. You heard it here first, my TV. Look at me being a presenter.
Eugene Mathews, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh,
You
it's
can
been a
connect with him on
pleasure.
social media. All his links will be on this video. And thank you very much for coming to Hipe TV.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
Are we?
Are we shaking hands? You're going to hug?
Yeah, let's hug.
There we go.